Hokey religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side, kid.
This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight. Not as clumsy or random as a blaster. An elegant weapon for a more civilized age.
The lightsaber is the keepsake weapon of the Jedi. To begin with, it is a bladeless hilt. When activated, it brandishes a sword-length beam of coloured light. This light is pure plasma energy, and while the lightsaber does not give off any heat, it can easily cut through almost any material in the galaxy with minimal effort. There are different types of lightsabers in the Star Wars universe. In this video, we are going to look at lightsabers in general. The lightsaber was seen as a symbol of peace and hope, and despite how dangerous the lightsaber is, the weapon was designed to reduce collateral damage, while offering the enemy the chance to surrender. If a Jedi had no choice but to take a life, a lightsaber would at the very least be quick and painless to end one's suffering. In the hands of a dark Jedi or a Sith Lord, however, a lightsaber could be used for cruelty and torture. The most important element of a lightsaber was its kyber crystal, which is said to be the heart of a lightsaber. Jedi younglings would travel with their masters to the snow world of Ilum, where they would descend into ice caves to retrieve a kyber crystal to construct their own lightsaber. This was known as the Gathering. Forging a lightsaber was no simple task. A Jedi youngling being able to build their own lightsaber would signify their growth into a Jedi Padawan and then maybe one day a Jedi Knight. Some storytelling medium in Star Wars show different ways that a Jedi builds their lightsaber. Some use the Force to carefully piece their weapon together, while others seem to build it in a more traditional manner. Combat is intended to be the last resort for a Jedi, but if forced, a Jedi would ignite their lightsaber without hesitation and prepare themselves for battle. As such, Jedi learn one or more of the 7 traditional forms of lightsaber combat as part of their Jedi training: Shicho, Makashi, Sorasu, Ataru, Gemso, Niman, and Juyo, as well as Vapad. These forms often reflected on a Jedi's personality, their values, and their physical capabilities, which can be explored in a further video. Not much could resist the strikes of a lightsaber, aside from other lightsabers. Beskar, a rare material found on the planet of Mandalore, could be forged into a steel to withstand lightsaber blows. Some electrical and energy-based weapons, such as those wielded by the personal guard of General Grievous, could also defend against lightsabers. Cortosis ore, a rare material, could be weaved into pre-existing materials to resist and even deactivate lightsabers. Cortosis was surprisingly common during ancient times of the Old Republic and the Sith Empire. Behind the scenes, when Star Wars creator George Lucas began to devise his story, he wanted to incorporate swords, but created the laser sword, or lightsaber, as a means of blending swords with his futuristic setting of Star Wars. Originally, the idea of a lightsaber was that they were to be quite common, as early concept art of Star Wars shows Imperial and Rebel soldiers wielding lightsabers as standard weapons. This idea was eventually revoked, as lightsabers became exclusives to Jedi and Sith characters to create further mystery around these rare individuals. In Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope, the original lightsaber of Anakin Skywalker was made from a Graflex camera side attachment flash, while Darth Vader's lightsaber was constructed with a Micro Precision Products flash attachment. The hilt grips of both lightsabers were made from T-shaped pieces of plastic from sliding glass cabinet windows. D-rings were attached to the bottom of the hilts so that the lightsaber could easily hang from a belt. The lightsaber of Obi-Wan Kenobi was the most complicated of original weapons. It was made with numerous parts, including an Armitage Shanks Starlight model handwheel and a Rolls-Royce Derwent Mark 8 and Mark 9 jet engine balance pipe. The original special effects of the lightsaber were created by Korean animator Nelson Shin, who utilized rotoscoping, an animation technique which is hand-drawn onto the film's footage and over the physical lightsaber prop. And Nelson Shin managed to complete all the lightsaber special effects for the first film in 1 week. The lightsaber rods used in A New Hope were 3-sided rods, covered in reflective material, connected to a small motor on the inside of the lightsaber hilt, which would enable the rod to spin. This was to create a glowing effect of light, but the effect didn't always work, and the rods suffered frequent damage due to the fight scenes. In Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, this method was declined, and instead, the filmmakers began to use carbon-based rods. These new blades were less cumbersome, but were quite fragile and regularly broke. Despite this, they were then again used in Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. In the beginning of the prequel trilogy, aluminium rods were used in place of the original carbon rods. These rods saw their own damage, bending and falling out of shape. In Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, the rods were replaced by carbon fiber rods laminated with glass and plastic. These new props were strong, didn't flex and didn't break, but because of how hard they were, they left frequent bruising and scars on the actors.
You won't get away this time, Dooku.
The prequel trilogy also allowed for digital rotoscoping of the lightsaber blades, rather than hand-drawn like the original trilogy. Because of the original films, blue, green, and red essentially became the default colours of the lightsaber, with the latter pair for Jedi. Actor Samuel L. Jackson, who played Mace Windu in the prequel trilogy, requested a unique lightsaber colour so that his character may stand out among the Jedi in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, during the Battle of Geonosis. This is why Mace Windu wields a purple-bladed lightsaber. In a deleted scene from Return of the Jedi, we see Luke Skywalker constructing his new green-bladed lightsaber, but this scene was removed as the filmmakers wanted to better surprise the audience, revealing Luke to have a new lightsaber of his own. Luke's new lightsaber was intended to be blue, just as it was in the previous films, but this was later changed to green as a blue lightsaber did not contrast well against the blue skies during the escape of Jabba the Hutt's sail barge in Return of the Jedi. Thank you for watching this episode of Galactic Forge. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below on what you'd like to see next.